33, yeah, coming. %32 of total number of books published by all the three given companies together in 2003 were academic books, and 45% of total number of books in books published by all the three given companies together in 2004 were academic. Okay, what is the difference between total number of academic books published by these three companies in 2003 and 2004? In 2003 they are 32%, and in 2004 45%. Right, you asked about total value, I think. 2003 total books, what is that? 1300. So 32% of 1300, and in 1300 and then 360, 1660. That's about difference. 32% of this weight. Array, agandi. 2%, 30% plus 2%, no problem. 30, 390. 1% is 13, 2% is 26. And from 26, that becomes 416. Now you need to calculate 45%. Half minus 10% of it. Since 830, 830 minus 83. Instead of 83, subtract 100, add 17. Subtract 100, 17, 47. That's about between these two numbers. 300, 47, 60, 331. Why rich and abba? Right, apart from 33, any other question? Any other question? No? (31 to 35). Right. Next, 36 to 40. (36). 1856 divided by 58 into 65 plus 144 under root 144, 12. Right. 58 3 times. 58 3 times. 174. You have 116 2 times. 32 65 times. Right. I'll go for 50 times and then I will add 30% of it. 50 times of this number, and then 10% of this is 5 times. 30% of this will be 15 times. Total 65 times. 65 or 65%. Take 50 times. 10% will be 5 times, 30% will be 15 times. So I need to calculate 50 times, 100 times and then half of it. 100 times is 3200, half is 1600. 10% is 160, 30% is 480. This is 65 times of the number. And then I need to add 12. Right. So this is 92 and then 20. 2092. Next. 37. 40% of 3640 minus 20% of 3295. First one is 40%, the other one is 20%. So let me convert 20% of 3295 point something, and the previous value as I have 40% of 3640. So either I want to have 20% here or 40% here. Else directly can calculate 40% and then the other number also. But let me convert this as 20% of 7280 and this is also 20% of 3295. Both are 20% of the values. Let me calculate 20% of difference. 20% of difference. Instead of this number, subtract 3300 as it is. You are adding 5 here. 20% of 5 is 1, doesn't make any difference. So instead of this number, subtract 3300. 3000. 4000. 280 minus 300. So still you need to subtract 20. So that will be 6980. And of this number I need to calculate 20%. 10% is 698, which is 2 less than 700. 20% will be 4 less than 1400. 4 less than 1400, 1396. ఏమైంది 4000 ఇక్కడ this is 3 I think 3980. 10% is 398, which is 2 less than 400. 20% will be 4 less than 800. 796. Right. Fourth option, 797 answer. 38. 14 square something plus 24 square. 14 square. 196. 24 square. 576. And from this number you need to subtract something and then take negative value to right hand side, that becomes positive, and that will be 1561 plus 854 divided by x. Negative value to right hand side. And already you have right hand side 703. Take that to left hand side, that becomes minus 703. If you add 4 to this number, this becomes 200. Subtract 4 from here, so that will be 2 here, and it becomes 200. So 200 and then 500 becomes 700. 700 minus 700 cancel. 72 minus 3, 69. So left hand side you have 69. So x will be equal to this number by 69. X is equal to 1500 plus 800, 2300. 61 plus 54, 115. That becomes 2415 by 69. For time being, let it be 70. 70, 3 times 210. So 69, that will be near about 3 times. 69 threes. 207. And you have 41. 41 minus 7. 41 minus 7. 34. 34 and then you have 5. 345. Let it be 70 again for time being. 70 near about 5 times. So 35 times. X is 35. Next 39. 3/7 of 17 by 23, 21 by 34 into 620. This is equal to how much? Right. 17 2 times, 7 3 times. How much is this? 46. 46 10 times is 460. Still again you have 160. Yes or no? 46 is here product denominator. 10 times is 460. 46 how many times is near about 160? 46 3 times. 46 3 times 138. Still you have 22. That will be 0.5. So this is 10 times and this is 3.5 times. Total 13.5 times. 13.5 and then you have into 9. 10 times minus 1 time. Subtract 14, add half. Subtract 14, 121.5. Second option 121 answer. Right. 48th. 820 by 20 plus 484 by 11 square 121. Very clear, right? How many times? 4 times. 0 0 cancel and this is 41 plus 4 45. And next 41 to 45. See, for these type of questions I have already told you. Look at your percentage values in pie chart and compare it with their respective ratio in terms of number of parts. And for A, how much you have? 12% and ratio 3:1. So this is ratio about male to female ratio. Total how many parts we have? And this is 4 multiple. 4 parts is 12%, 1 part is 3%, right? And for B also you have B 8% and B in terms of ratio 5:3. So total how many parts? 8 parts, 8%. Like that C also 24% C and C in terms of number 7:5. Total 12 parts. 12 parts is 24%, 1 part 2%. And then again D 16%. D in terms of ratio 5:3. So total 8 parts 16%, 1 part 2%. Next E 10% and E in ratio 3:2. 5 parts 10%. Conversion would be easy. Next F 20%. F in ratio 13:7. Again 20 parts 20%. And then G 10% you have and here ratio 7:3. 10 parts 10%. 1 part 1%. Conversion would be very easy. Which question? 45. Number of members which includes male and female in sports club E is what percent less than total number of female in sports club C and F together. Let me take in terms of percentage. From E you have to consider both male and female, which is 10%. Number of members in sports club E, which is 10%, is what percent of female in C and F? In F you have 7 parts female, total 20 parts is equal to 20%. 1 part is 1%, 7 parts is 7%. And from C you have total 12 parts is equal to 24%, 1 part 2%, female are 5 parts which is 10%. 7% plus 10%, 17. So 10% is what percent of 17% with respect to percentage, right? So I'll write it as 100. Right, coming. Both the values are to be calculated only on same number, need not to go for conversion. And you're asked about what percent less. 10 is how much less than 17? 7 less. And now you need to calculate percentage. Percentage cancel. Look at your denominator. 50%. First of all, look at your options. Near about 40. First let me go for 40%. 10% of denominator 1.7. 20% 3.4. 40% 6.8. So 40% is 6.8 and to this number you need to add 0.2. What about 10%? 1.7. 1% 0.17. 2% 0.34. So you need to add 0.2, which is more than 1% but less than 2%. But at the same time 1% is 0.17 and you need to add 0.20, which is just above 0.17. Hence answer is just above 1%. Not so big difference. Answer is just above 41%. And you have only one, right? Need not to worry about it. You have only one option which starts with 41%. Question number 44. What is the difference between total number of male members in sports club C, E, G together and total number of female members in the same club? Right. You are asked about difference in terms of a number. From which group? C, E, G. C, E, G. Right. Let's discuss in terms of percentage. Everywhere you have more male people, right? C, you have more male. Here also 13 parts. Sorry, 3 parts. And in G also 7 parts. So in every section you have more male people. So let me take C, which is 12 parts here. In terms of percentage 24%. 1 part is 2%. Difference in terms of parts is 2 parts, which is 4% in terms of percentage. Right. Next E, total you have 5 parts. 5 parts is equal to 10%. 1 part is 2%. Difference is 1 part. So that will be 2%. And here G you have 10 parts total is equal to 10%. 1 part 1%. Difference 4 parts, that will be 4%. So total difference 10%. 10% of total. What is total value given in the question? 40,000. Out of 40,000, 10% is 4,000. Okay. Next, any other question? 41. What is the respective ratio between total number of female in sports club A, B, D and the total number of male in sports club F? From F, what percent we have? 20%. As it is ratio, I will write it as A by B. And in numerator you need to take what? Female from A, B, D. You need to calculate only female. A, 4 parts, 12%, 1 part, 3%. Female, 1 part, that will be 3%. Plus B, total you have 8 parts, 8%, female 3 parts, 3%. And then D, 8 parts, 16%, 1 part 2%, female 3 parts, that will be 6%. So total you have 12 by 20%, percentage cancel, cancellation with 4 3 times, 4 5 times, 3 by 5. So before going to calculation, I have verified one more thing. You are asked about ratio and you know denominator which is 20%, that is very clear. And you need to calculate numerator. As you know, perfect value for denominator which is 20%, your denominator in your fraction, in your ratio, denominator in your ratio should be factor of 20. You need to cancel, right? There will be some cancellations here and after that you need to write your number. So out of your fraction, out of your ratio, your denominator should be factor of 20. Look at your options, how many are there? 4 are there. Your third option says 13:15. Ratio becomes 13 by 15. Denominator is 15 and your number is 20. 15 cannot be factor of 20, so this cannot be your answer. Like that, if you can perfectly eliminate 4 options, you can get your answer without calculation, female in A, B, D companies also. As I have 4 numbers in my denominator which are factors of 20, I was forced to verify it. Otherwise, I need not to calculate that also. Okay? Next. Second one should be easy, 42. You are asked about degrees, I think. And the 43 also average. That also you can calculate. Yes? Next 46 to 50? Sure? Right. So I have not tried 51 to 55. నేనైతే చెక్ చేయాలి రాంగ్ నెంబర్ సిరీస్. ఏదైనా డౌట్ ఉంది అని అంటే ఇక్కడ ట్రై చేస్తా. 51. ఏయ్ ఆల్ అంటే if it is number series then we can try something. నేను ఎప్పుడో జమానాలో చదివిన వాడిని, మీరిప్పుడు ప్రిపేర్ అవుతున్న వాళ్ళు, నాకంటే మీరే బాగా చేస్తారు నంబర్ సిరీస్. ఐఎమ్ నాట్ రీజనింగ్ ఫ్యాకల్టీ రైట్. నాకు ఎట్లా వస్తాయి నంబర్ సిరీస్ అయితే ఏదో ముక్కున అటు ఇటు ఉంటాయి కాబట్టి వస్తాయి. అక్క ఈ పేపర్ ఎవరు ఇచ్చారు? 0.4, 10.4, 30.8, 102.4, 419.6. డిఫరెన్సా? డిఫరెన్స్ కదా. ఇంటూ 1 ప్లస్ 10 ఇంటూ 2 ప్లస్ 10 ఇంటూ 3 ప్లస్ 10 అంతేనా? ఇంటూ 4 ప్లస్ 10 సాటిస్ఫైడ్. ఇంటూ 5 ప్లస్ 10 ఆగు నువ్వు. ఇంటూ 4 ప్లస్ 10 409.6 419.6 true. Into 5 plus 10 4196, half of it 2098 plus 10 పోయిందిగా. we'll see. Into 6 plus 10 2600 6 నాలుగులు 36. ఆగండి, 36 72 144 పోయిందిగా. నో ఇట్ నాట్ వర్క్. నైంటీ త్రీస్ 33s 90. ఆగక్క, నాకు కనీసం ఛాన్స్ ఇవ్వట్లా నువ్వు. రైట్, వెరిఫైడ్. దిస్ వన్ ఆల్రెడీ వర్క్డ్ ఐ థింక్. ఇంటూ 4 plus 10 ఇంటూ 4 times I think I have verified it, right? 408 409.6 right. ఇంటూ 5 ఇదే రాంగ్ నెంబర్, ఇదిగో ఇదే స్టూపిడ్ ఫెల్లో. దట్ వన్ రైట్. Into 5 plus 10 is not working here. I am taking 10 times and then make it half. 10 times of this number 4196, half of it is 2098 plus 10 should be 2008. You should have 2008 here. In that case, into 6 plus 10. Next number. Into 6 times 12,648 plus 10 658. Verified. Where are you? నీకు ఇందాక ఎందుకు వెరిఫై అవ్వలేదంటే ఇక్కడ నేను 2008 రాసా, మీరు సరిగ్గా ఫాలో అవట్లా. యాడ్ చేస్తే 2108 వస్తుంది. కమాన్, ఎనీ అదర్ క్వశ్చన్? ఇఫ్ యూ వాంట్ ఐ కెన్ డిస్కస్ 53. If you are interested, I think I can discuss that. పర్లేదులే, మొహమాట పడుతున్నారు. Right, any other question? మా 52 ఏంటి? ఇంటూ ఓకే 5 12 38 96 285 852 2553 right. 270 18 218 perfect. Into 3 minus 3 into 3 minus 3 into 3 minus 3 into 3 minus 3 36 minus 3 should have 35 here. 1 0 Hey, 33. 99 minus 3, 96, 96 and verified. Right, so you should have third option, instead of 38 you should have 33. 53 should I explain? Yes sir, very good. 239, 240, 246, 253, 269, 294, 330. Just go for difference. How much is here? 1, 6, 8, 7, 16, 20 and then 36. You should have 2 square here and then 3 square here. So take 2 from this number and add here, that becomes 9. So you are supposed to have only 4, 244. Instead of that you have 246. Idi koda raleda. Next 54 into last nunchi chuste 18 19 plus 3 avutadi. 44 plus 3 47, 47, 94, 94 plus 3 97. Coming 797, 420, 197, 97, 47, 22, 9 and a half. Better to start with least numbers. So let me start with this number 9 and a half 2 times. 9 and a half 2 times 19 and then add 3 here, that becomes 22. 22 2 times 44 plus 3. 47 2 times 94, 97. 97 2 times 194 plus 3, 197. 197 2 times, that will be, wait, 6 less than 400, 394 plus 3, you should have 397 here. So this one 420. Right, next 7, 22, 52, 112, 260, 472, 952. So apart from this, look at these numbers, they are near about 2 times, right? All are near about 2 times. 2 times of this number is 104, but you have plus 8. 2 times of this number 224 plus something, and 2 times of this number, this is not something, 2 times ravatledu. Let me verify here. 2 times of this number 944 plus 8, 952. So into 2 plus 8 verified here, into 2 plus 8 verified here. Let me also verify it here. Into 2 plus 8, 44 plus 8. Here also it works. Should be this guy, 260. That is not working there, right? So you should have into 2 plus 8, 224 plus 8, 232. Instead of that we have 260. Okay? Next 56. Parker covered first 35 kilometers of the journey at 42 km per hour. So 35 kilometers distance covered with 42 km per hour. I am taking distance and then speed here. And then next 16 kilometers with a speed of 24 km per hour. And certain distance in how much time? Remaining distance in 105 minutes. And thereby averaging the speed becomes 35 1 by 13 km per hour for the entire journey. How much distance is the distance travelled in the last phase of the journey, which is in last 105 minutes. It asked about distance covered here. What is overall speed maintained in the journey? 35 1 by 13. So if I take total distance as total speed 35 1 by 13 into total time. I will get total distance traveled. And from this, if I subtract distances already covered, which is 35 and then 16, 40, 51 kilometers, I will get distance covered in last 105 minutes. Are you getting my point? Right. So this is total speed maintained for the overall journey, and I need to calculate total time taken here. Right. First let me calculate total time taken. How much time will it take to cover 35 kilometers distance, because time is equal to distance by speed. 35 by 42, 7 5 times, 6 times. So this becomes 5 by 6. Let it be like that. And then 16 kilometers with a speed 24 kilometer per hour, 8 2s, 8 3s, which is 2 by 3. I will write 2 by 3 as 4 by 6. Is that okay? 2 by 3 and 4 by 6 one and the same, because my denominator, previous denominator is 6. Let me represent 2 by 3 as 4 by 6. Then it is easy to calculate that. And last distance is covered in 105 minutes. 105 minutes in the sense 1 hour 45 minutes. 45 minutes in the sense 3/4 hour. So 1 3 by 4 hour. 5 by 6 plus 4 by 6, 9 by 6, in the sense 1.5 hour. And this is 1.5 hour plus 15 minutes. 1.5 hour plus 1.5 hour, 3 hours plus 15 minutes. 15 minutes in the sense 1 by 4, 3 1 by 4, 13 by 4. So total journey time is 13 by 4 hours, and the overall speed maintained for whole journey is 35 1 by 13. 35 13 times we need to calculate. 35 10 times, and then 35 3 times. 35 10 times is 350. 35 3 times 105. 350 plus 105, 455 plus 1, 456. So that becomes 456 by 13. This is total time taken, and this is total speed maintained. You will get total distance here. And from this, if you subtract distance already travelled with 42 km per hour and 24 km per hour together, calculates to 51. From this, if you subtract 51 kilometers, you will get your answer. 13 13 cancel, and then 456 by 4, half half, or else cancellation with 4 direct. 1 1 4, 114 minus 51, 110 minus 50, 60, 4 minus 1, 3, 63 kilometers. The radius of the base of a cylindrical drum is 14 centimeters, and its height is 25% less than the radius. Radius is given as 14. 25% less in the sense that will be 75%. 75% in the sense half plus half of it. Half of 14, 7. Again half, 3.5. 7 plus 3.5, 10.5. So radius is 14 centimeters, height is 10.5 centimeters. And now it is given that it is already 80% full. How many cubic centimeters of water need to be added to make it completely full? To make it completely full, you need to add 20% of the volume. Yes or no? So you need to calculate volume and then 20% of it. Right? Volume formula. Pi r square h. Right? You have pi r square h, and then this is total volume, and then you need to calculate only 20%. Is that okay? Right. This one only, right? Volume, inside area. What is this? What is this? Circle. Inner area in the sense, what do you mean by that? Area. How much is area of circle? Pi r square. If you have one circle, that will be pi r square. If you have two circles, pi r square into 2. If you have 10 circles, pi r square into 10. Height is given h, so pi r square h. If you are asked about the outer area, painting area, painting area in the sense outside only. Outside in the sense 2 pi r. Perimeter. If you have only one circle, that is 2 pi r. 10 circles, 2 pi r into 10. H circles, 2 pi r h. Volume and then outer area. Okay? I think you call it as lateral surface area or something, right? Next, for 58. Gaurav purchased an article from a shopkeeper who allowed a discount of 25% on the market price of the article but charged a sales tax of 15% on the discounted price. Gaurav sold the article to Purav for 5,382 and thereby earned a profit of 30% on the cost price. What is the market price of the article? Right. First, let me discuss in terms of percentage. Let market price be 100%. And what percent discount is already allowed? Amma? 25%. So if 25% discount is allowed, he bought it for 75%. But after this is discounted price. Discounted price. Upon this, he is adding 15% sales tax. Can I directly add 15 or 15% of 75? 10% of this number is 7.5. Half, 5% in the sense half of it. 7.5 and half of it. 3.75. So total will be 11.25%. This is discounted cost price and this is sales tax. So total cost comes to 86.75. 25. This is total cost price of the item on which Purav purchased it, and he is selling it at a profit of 30%. 10% of this number is 8.625. 30% we need to calculate. 8 threes, I think you can remember this. 0.63 times 1.8. 0.0253 times 0.075. So total it becomes 25.875%. Clear everybody? I can treat this as 0.25 or 0.250. This is cost price of the item and he sold it at a gain of 30%. 30% of this number is this much, and total selling price in terms of percentage is going to be 0.125 here and then 112 here. Right? He sold it at 112.125%. He asked about market price. Market price of the item is 100%. You are given selling price of the item. In terms of percentage it is 112.125. I'll write 0.125 as 1 by 8%. Is that okay? 0.125 or 1 by 8. And this value is given as 5,000. Where is this? 5,382. It asked about 100%. Now, let me take difference between these two numbers. How much is difference between these two numbers? How much is this? 12 1 by 8%. You know 12.5% is 1/8. 12 1 by 2% is 1 by 8. But here you have 12 1 by 8%, which is very close to. అది అవసరం లేదు, అది వదిలేసి. మీకు కావాలా మళ్ళీ లైట్ కావాలా? కావాలా? కావాలంటే so if it is 12.5%, we calculate that as 1/8 value. Let me treat it as 1/8. So from this also let me subtract 1/8 of the value, because very close to 12.5%. 1/8. Let me divide this number with 8. 8 6 times 48. 8 7s is 7 8s 56, which is more than that. So more than 600, less than 700. I will treat as near about 650. So from this number let me subtract 650. First let me subtract 650, 400, and then again 250. My answer is near about 4,750. Look at your options. Answers are nearby 4,750. How many options you have? Only one. 4,800. That must be your answer. So let me go with 4,800. So basically after this you need to go for cross multiplication, and it is waste of your time. Don't do it. 12 1 by 8% calculates to 12.5% near about, which is 1/8 value. So let me subtract 1/8 of the number. So I will get nearest answer. Clear everybody? Next 59. In a 80 liters of mixture of water and milk, water is only 30%. The milkman gave 16 liters of the mixture to a customer, and then he added 10.2 liters of pure milk and 5.8 liters of pure water in the remaining mixture. What is the percentage of the water in the final mixture? You are asked about percentage, right? Come on. So how much quantity we have? 80. In that, water is 30%. But milkman gave 16 liters. Out of 80 liters, if 16 liters were taken out, remaining quantity will be 64. So out of this 64, water will be 30% and milk will be 70%. Am I right? Yes or no? Right. Let me calculate 30%. 10% is 6.4. 30% will be 19.2. 3 times of 6.4. 6 3 is 18. 0.4 3 times 1.2. 18 plus 1.2, 19.2. So, water will be 19.2 out of 64 liters. Milk will be difference of these two numbers. Subtract 20, add 0.8. Subtract 20, 44, add 0.8, 44.8. Now, after this he is adding 10.2 liters of pure milk and 5.8 liters of pure water. So, on the total he is adding how many liters? Hey, this is new quantity, right? 5.8 plus 10.2, how much? 16. So, total he is adding 16 liters to 64. That will be 80 liters. And out of 80 liters, you are asked to calculate percentage of water. How much is this? 25. And you need to represent it as a percentage. So, when you want to calculate percentage, you have to calculate it upon only denominator. Yes, sir? 10% of denominator. 30%, 20, you have 25, so you need to add 1 here, you need to add 1, so that it becomes 25. What about 10%? 8, but you need to add only 1, which is 1/8 of that number. So you need to calculate 1/8 of 10%, which is 1.25, correct? Answer is 31 1/4%. $31.25. So basically you must represent it as 31 1/4%, but options are given as points, so go for it. Next, a boat can travel 10.8 kilometers downstream in 18 minutes. The speed of the water current is 4.5 km per hour. Stream speed is given. The boat takes 10 minutes to travel from point A to B and then return to point 8. So if it is traveling from one place to another place and return to starting point, one direction must be downstream and the other must be upstream, right? And you are asked to calculate total distance from A to B. So let's say distance from A to B is D. A person started from A, reached B, so covered D distance and then again returned to starting point, in the sense from B to A, that will be again D. Total distance travelled will be 2D. total distance will be equal to total time into total speed. What is total time taken here? 210 minutes. 210 minutes. 3 hours in the sense? 180. Apart from 180, how many minutes you have? 30 minutes. In the sense half an hour. So 3.5 hours. I'll write it as 7 by 2 hours. Into total speed maintained for the entire journey. Total speed maintained for the entire journey, in the sense you need to calculate average speed. So one direction, as already discussed, should be downstream and the other must be upstream. Okay? So this is m plus s and this is m minus s. And your first sentence is, a boat can travel 10.8 kilometers downstream in 18 minutes. So you discussed about downstream. Okay? In 18 minutes, he covered 10.8 kilometers. But we need to represent speed in kilometer per hour. Per hour in the sense 60 minutes. What about 10% of this number? 1.8. 60% of 18? 1.8 into 6. 10.8. 60% of this number? 36. So in 60 minutes he can cover 36 kilometers in downstream. So downstream speed becomes 36 kilometer per hour. Difference between downstream and upstream is 2s. From this number, if you subtract 2s, you will get upstream. What is s value given in the question? 4.5. 2s in the sense 9. So you need to subtract 9 from this number. That will be 27 kilometer per hour. Downstream speed, upstream speed. But you need to calculate average speed. 2ab by a plus b. 2ab by a plus b, which is 63. Right? 2 cancel. 9, 4 times, 9, 7 times, 7, 7 cancel. 2 how many times? 2 times. Distance is equal to 2 into 27, 54 kilometers. See, this is 60%. Else you have to use formula again. Distance, speed is equal to distance by time. And again time is given in minutes. You will have to convert it to hours. 18 by 60. Instead of that, as you need to represent speed in kilometer per hour, hour in the sense 60 minutes, calculate it for 60 minutes. Next, where are we? 61. A mother divided an amount of 61,000 between her two daughters aged 18 years and then 16 years and deposited their shares in a high yield bond. If amount as high yield bond, if the rate of interest is 20% compounded annually, and if each received the same amount as the other when she attained at the age of 20 years, their shares are. So when they become 20 years, both are getting same amount. Okay? First one is 18 years old, second one is 16 years old, right? And they both are getting same amount when they come to 20 years old. In the sense, she will get interest for how many years? Right. So 2 years, and here 4 years. So is 2 years interest more or 4 years interest more in general? 4 years interest is more. So here you are adding more simple interest, more interest. Interest is more here. So principal should be more here compared to the other one. Then only they both will get same amount. If you take same principals, first one is getting 2 years interest and second one is getting 4 years interest. So her interest, second one's interest is more than first year's interest. So she will get more amount, but they both are getting same amount. So if interest of second person is more, obviously principal of first person should be more. Then only they will get same amount, right? It should not be even equal principals. So look at your options. Second option eliminated. Yes or no? Third option also eliminated. Because first person's principal should be more than second person's principal. But third option is not satisfying that rule. Either first or fourth. Like that, if you can eliminate 4 options, whatever the remaining one you can go for it, right? So otherwise now you need to verify it. I don't want to go for verification now. Let's say first one's principal is X, second one's principal is Y. Okay, X is more than Y, that you know that condition. And amount received after 2 years at the rate of 20% per annum, P into 1 plus R by 100 to the power of N. For how many years? 2 years. P into 1 plus R by 100 to the power of how many years? 4 years. What is rate of interest? 20. 20 by 100? 1 by 5. 1 plus 1 by 5? 6 by 5. And this one gets cancelled and you will have 2 here. And you know this value is 6 by 5. So X by Y is equal to, this goes to, hey, direct category వెళ్తుంది కదా, 6 by 5 only, 36 by 25. So ratio becomes 36 is to 25. Look at your options. Look at your options. Fourth option, right? 36,000, 25,000. Done. So look at this as single entity, and this goes to right hand side and this becomes the same value. So that will be right hand side 6 by 5, because this is equal to 1. Both are getting same amounts. This is equal to 1. 6 by 5 whole square goes to right hand side. 36 by 25, ratio is 36 is to 25. 36,000, 25,000. Okay? Right, next 62. 2 data entry operators are required to finish 360 pages of information in a week. One completes her work by 114% and the other one by 110%. Thus collectively finished 400 pages. How many pages were entered by each is excess of her assigned work. Right, with 100% speed first person and 100% speed of the second person, they both can complete 360 pages. First one does 114% of her actual work and second one does 110% of her actual work, and thus they can complete how many pages? 400 pages. And now you are asked to calculate how many excess pages of each have done here. So earlier we have how many pages? And now? So increased value should be, and these excess work, when you add excess work of first person and second person, that must be equal to 40. Look at your first option, 1426. How much is total? Can be your answer. Second one, 2018, 38. You should get 40. Eliminated. Third option, 1512. Eliminated. Fourth option, 1014. Eliminated. Fifth option, 1514. Eliminated. Only option left, first one, 1426. Done. Two options untai. Nee paada nu evaru adigindi. What is increase in first number? 14% is equal to 14. Yes. Increase in percentage? 10% is equal to 26. Yes or no? I am trying to verify first option. 100%. Or else work done in second case, 110% into 11 into 11 into 11, 286, 10 times plus 1 time. Second case, 114% is equal to 114. 114 plus 286, 400. Satisfied, hence right answer. Or else 14% is equal to 14. 100% is equal to 100. 10% is 26. 100% is 260. 260, 100. 360. Done in first case. Verified. So this is right answer. You have two options, you can verify it like this. గాట్ ఇట్? ఇంకేమైనా డౌట్ ఉందా? అన్నీ ఉంటే వచ్చింది ఎవరికన్నా? ఎస్ ఆర్ నో? వచ్చింది. You know what to do now? Solving linear equations. Solving and linear equations and get the values of x and y. Can't you get it? You know it or not? You know how to do it. If all options are like that, then you have to do like this. Avasarama adi? Next. 63. A carpenter was allowed 30 days to complete a certain piece of work. But after 18 days, he finished only half the work. But by taking 15 more men for work, he could finish the work at the right time. In the beginning, how many men were there? Right. Let's say X men worked for 18 days and finished half of the work. Remaining is half of the work. And to complete that work, he took 15 more men. Now we have X plus 15. Now we have to complete the work in how many days? 30 days. Already 18 days are over. Remaining 12 days work. X plus 15 members are doing half of the work in 12 days. 18x. 3 times. 2 times. 3x. 2x. X. 30. Initially we have 30 people. అమ్మా ఇన్వర్స్లీ వేయచ్చు, ఎట్లాగా కావాలి. సో దే కెన్ కంప్లీట్ హాఫ్ ఆఫ్ ది వర్క్ ఇన్ హౌ మెనీ డేస్? అమ్మా 18 days. But now they have completed in 12 days. Days decreases by out of, in the sense 1/3 decrease. So for always decrease of 1/3, there must be increase of 1/2. How many more men we have? Efficiency, manpower. How many men were there? Extra men, 15. Half is equal to 15, 1 is equal to 30. Initially we have 30 people. Got it? Next. So if men increases, days decreases. That's what happens, right? Inversely proportional to. A tea merchant blends 2 kinds of tea, putting in 3 parts of the 25 rupees per kg. 3 parts in the sense, let's say 3 kgs. Okay? 3 parts in the sense, let me assume 3 kgs. And each costs 25 rupees per kg. So total cost 75 rupees. And to 1 part of 15 rupees per kg A grade. Let it be 1 kg. So that costs 15 rupees. So total it costs 90 rupees. So now this is about 4 parts or 4 kgs you can say. Next, if the mixture is changed to 1 part of 25 rupees per kg, which costs 25 rupees here, and 3 parts of 15 rupees per kg, and it costs 45 rupees now. Total it costs 70. How much will the shopkeeper lose or gain, lose or save in blending 200 kgs? So if it is 4 parts or 4 kgs, he could save 20 rupees. Instead of 90 rupees, now he just need to spend 70 rupees only, right? So he could save 20 rupees. For how many parts? 4 parts. Where is this? 4 parts are 4 kgs. For 4 kgs he can save how many rupees? 20 rupees. And for 200 kgs, how many times? How many times? Or 4 how many times? 5 times. 200 5 times? 1000. Is it profit or loss? Profit or loss? Profit. Shopkeeper, right? So instead of spending 90 rupees, he can just spend 70 rupees. Is it loss or profit for him? Profit, obviously. 5,000 ఫీజు బదులు 4,000కి వచ్చింది. ప్రాఫిటా లాసా? ఎవరి క్లాసు? మీకా? నాకు నా సంగతి కాదు నేను మాట్లాడుతుంది. నా సంగతి కాదు కదా నేను మాట్లాడుతుంది, మీ సైడ్ నుంచి మాట్లాడుతున్నా. ఫ్రమ్ యువర్ సైడ్, ఇన్స్టెడ్ ఆఫ్ 5,000 rupees, if you pay 4,000, is it going to be profit or loss for you? Profit. So let's say this pen cost, ఈ బోర్డు అనుకుందాం, ఈ బోర్డు మామూలుగా నాకు 1,000 రూపాయలకి రావాలి. Instead of spending 1,000 rupees on this board, if I spend 800 rupees, is it profit or loss for me? Profit. Yes. Instead of spending 90 rupees, you can just spend 70. Yes. So this is profit for him. Next, apples cost 100 rupees a bag for the first 150 bags. A store buys from a wholesaler. All the bags bought in addition to the first 150 gets a discount of 20%. How much does it cost to buy 200 bags of apples from the wholesaler? So wholesaler sells it for 100 rupees for first how many bags? 150 bags. And number of bags which exceeds 150 bag, he is giving 20% discount, and now he sells it for only 80 rupees. So for first 150 bags he will charge 100 rupees, and from bag number 151 onwards he will charge only 80 rupees. Total number of bags purchased 200. So 150 cost 100 per bag, and extra 50 bags 80 rupees. So total cost of 150 bags here it becomes 15,000, and here it becomes 4,000. Total cost 19,000. $150 bags and then 50 bags. Clear? 19,000.